Zobi, you there?
Atef? Yes.
Okay. I need you to give me a drum roll. All right. So, with award season coming up,
Yes.
I'm going to be handing the trophy to
Yes.
two players
Yes.
this year
Yes.
for most missing player of the year.
Oh,
goes
I
to
know where this is going.
Kyle Lowry
I know.
and DeMar DeRozan.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
I'm just saying. I think
night.
they need to create another award just for those type of players that constantly go missing when their team really needs them. It is award season on Instant Replay and in the NBA. So this week we're going to be talking about the NBA awards and who should get them.
Totally. And, we obviously I knew that was coming, Atef. Not surprising.
Unfortunately.
That's what we talked about. Toronto Raptors fans, we don't have anything to smile about this morning. But Toronto Maple Leafs fans, yeah, buddy, we're rolling. So Atef down in Florida and I here in Toronto, we get into it and talk about all the NBA awards, and we have this new segment called Keep It Rollin, where we talk about all the headlines that, are having a big impact in the world right now, social, whatever you want to talk about, we talk about it. So
we apparently
hope you guys enjoy.
We talk about Olivia Munn, so stay tuned. Boom.
Yeah, buddy, Olivia Munn. Oh man, did you watch any of the games last night?
I did. I watched a couple of games actually.
Just get it out. Just get it out now. Let's just get this over with. Go ahead.
There was one game that I didn't watch completely because I thought, I'm like, hey, being somewhat of a part of We the North. I'm just We the North. I remember all my friends saying we're
arguably
walking to the finals. We're going to
You're the worst part of We the North. You're the worst. The worst part of We the North, that's you.
I'm just gonna put it out there. I was extremely astonished. I'm like, this is Milwaukee, right? I feel like in our group in our chat group, we were talking about this, and nobody was scared of any other team except for Cleveland. We're like, okay, we're gonna walk up to Cleveland. We got the best team this year. We'll see them in the finals. I'm like, okay, all right. So I'm like, should I even watch this game? It's Milwaukee. What can we worry about? Everybody's younger than 25.
You know what it is? This is what it is. Okay, Toronto sports need a little bit of a push. Okay, so in the last, I'll give you a stat. Okay, they kept telling us this. I think in the last, for all the sports, including Toronto Maple Leafs, for instance, who won last night in your face. Toronto Maple Leafs, who've made the playoffs as well, and they're the 8th seed, and they beat the number 1 seed in their home court or home ice pitch, whatever you want to call it.
Ice court.
Ice court. Ice field. I don't know what the term is. Anyways, so they beat them in there. But anyways, we always start with a loss first, and then we end up winning. I'm just letting you know right now, that's the case.
But I'm going to be completely honest. This is the one thing I've been iterating the entire time. I'm like, hey, you Raptors, you guys are great on paper, great in the regular season, and just so happens the same two people that I was talking about that have a tendency of...
We were great last year. Don't lie, we were great last year.
You guys were super inconsistent last year, though. It wasn't... You guys were not great.
Push the champs. We pushed the champs. We pushed the champs to 6 games. We won 2 at home. That is fantastic to me.
Hey, let me know, what does your ring say? Does your ring say? Wait, did you guys get a ring? Wait, did you even get a banner out of any of it? I don't know. Let me know.
Of course we got a banner. We get banners. We win the Atlantic Division. We get banners for that.
Come on, Zoe, tell me real quickly, does that banner actually matter to you?
Totally matters. Wow. Yeah, Atlantic banner.
Let me know when you win the Eastern. Let me know when you make it to the finals. Then we can talk. Then our cities can talk.
Has your team won a championship?
No, but we have the Eastern
Magic?
Conference. We've been to the finals at least, so we know what that finish line tastes like. We know it as
Whatever.
taste. So we have higher palates for great teams. That's what it is. I'm sorry. That taste we have, it's very sophisticated. Just put it that way.
Yeah, that taste has gone from Gordon Ramsay's level taste to like dog shit level taste now,
I'm
buddy.
gonna put it out there. The same two players I told you guys gotta watch out for Kyle Lowry, 4 points, 18% from the field.
Oh my
and
god.
DeMar DeRozan's inflated
Oh my
stats of
God.
27 points on 30% shooting. I'm sorry. Your best player was the player that Orlando seasoned and trained for you last night was Serge Ibaka.
Honestly, man, I feel like Michael Scott right now.
Oh, God! No! God, please, no! 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 No!
I cannot even deny that, but you didn't season trade
Hey,
anything.
we
It took
groomed
6
him.
months and he
I
got
called,
sick of you guys.
I called Hennigan, and I'm sorry I got him fired. But I'm like, hey, you should give Ibaka to Toronto because they have these false dreams and illusions they're gonna actually win.
Oh my god. You guys were worried he would leave you because of how bad you guys are. So he
Hey,
came
you know
to
what?
us naturally, and now he's gonna
I'm just gonna
resign.
put
He's gonna
this out
resign
there
with
as
us,
well.
100%.
At least my city's not delusional about championship dreams. We know. So we're building for the future. So I'll see you in 2020 hanging the banner I called 6 months ago, 2020 Orlando Magic NBA champs.
You're so
2020.
dumb. You are
Yeah,
really
right.
dumb.
Okay,
For
did you
real.
watch? So obviously that game was. So quick thoughts on that game for me. Oh man, I was so frustrated watching that game.
The Greek
First
freak was
half
dunking
great.
all over you guys.
Yeah, the Greek freak is something else, man. Honestly, he's a mismatch. He's a nightmare. I expected that him to be a nightmare, but I didn't expect. You know, they're so well coached. I couldn't believe it in terms of like how they ran plays. It
They
was
were nice. Like, I was watching the highlights, and I'll be honest with you. I thought Jason Kidd was just like, he's an amazing point guard. But at this point, I never really thought about it. I'm like, you know what? When he was with the Nets, he took them to the playoffs too. And then when he was with Milwaukee, he's taken them to the playoffs at this point. So he actually is a pretty decent coach.
No, he has the right mindset of how to get the ball moving. Plus this whole Milwaukee, how they've built the team, honestly, is it pretty impressive because of how lanky everyone is. And so there were a couple of times, I remember pointing this out directly, there were a couple of times when, you know, like DeMar DeRozan was clear for a layup, but out of nowhere, Thon Maker,
he
the
blocked
rookie,
him.
comes
Yeah, he blocked
from
him.
behind,
Yeah, I remember.
blocks him twice that happened, and I was just like, okay, this is where their length comes in handy, like athletic,
Yeah, but that's what they're
big
trying
guys.
to do. Look at their front court is Thon Maker, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Chris Middleton. I think all of them have a 7-foot wingspan or not, if not more.
Totally. Yeah, so the quick thoughts on that game, I was pretty disappointed. Well, hopefully that kick in the butt helps us. Toronto Maple Leafs won, though. I know you don't care, but I care. It was amazing. It went to double OT, and we won 4-3 against the number 1 seed in their home ice. And now we're coming back. We have home court advantage as the 8th seed, and hopefully we can upset.
All right.
Yes.
Hey, let
Take
me
some
know
positives.
when the Maple Leafs last won a Stanley Cup.
Oh my God! That
I
might be the
think.
longest
Are you guys up there with the
drought
Cubs in
now.
the longest drought?
Yeah, no, we're not up there. Nowhere close to the Cubs.
You
I
guys
think
won in
it's
the
like-
70s, 60s,
We're like
or 70s?
so Cubs were over 100 years. I think last time we won was in the
Yeah.
60s. So what's that
Yeah.
put it at? 50, 60 years?
Didn't you
something
guys
like that?
invent hockey? Doesn't
now-
Canada automatically, shouldn't they have every single Stanley Cup?
Yeah, we obviously did back in the 60s. We totally had every
Wait,
single
what? So
Stanley
who
Cup
owns all
back
the
to
Stanley
that
Cups?
era.
US of A. Oh, okay.
Yeah, with all our Canadian players. The last couple of Stanley Cups have been won by Chicago, and they're all Canadian.
Touche. I guess. Hey,
It's like
hey.
Team Canada
I
plays
guess
for Chicago.
United is the way to go. Am I right? We drag your people right away from Canada into.
What'd you think of that, Atef? What'd you think about the United
Okay.
Airlines incident? I'm curious to know. Are you ever gonna fly United again?
Probably not. And I'll be honest with you. I heard about it like during the daytime. I'm like, oh, somebody got kicked off the airline. But it wasn't the manner. When I saw the video and then I saw the guy, Dr. Dow, run back in, bloodied face and everything, I'm like, whoa, that was the most blatantly disrespectful. Like, they basically assaulted the guy on the flight just because they were trying to make room for their own people. I'm sorry, man. I don't know if I can just kind of let that slide anymore.
Honestly, man, I'm totally boycotting them. I had bad experiences with them in general because, just in general, because of the fact that they're always delayed operationally. They're bad, just periodly. Like, just as a poor run company. But to see that, I was very disturbed, man. Honestly, have you seen the second video? Have you seen the second video? So most people have seen the first one. Where he's being dragged?
I saw the drag, and then when he ran back on the plane,
Yeah, and he's just bleeding. Like, his face is just covered in blood. His nose is bleeding.
I didn't realize the level of torment that could have caused him, because the guy literally was having a psychotic episode. He's like, I can't leave, and he's holding on to the thing. Like, this guy just lost his marbles in that like a traumatic incident.
Yeah, that was whack, man. Honestly, I totally
But you know what?
So
United. I'm gonna hand them this trophy right now already. Worst airline of the year goes to United Airlines.
Speaking
of awards,
Speaking
of awards, this is the regular season of the NBA is over, so we have some important awards to hand out, because our opinion on instant replay does get counted in the media votes, right? That's what you promised me when I signed. When I signed on to this show,
one day
you promised me in my contract that our voice does count.
Contract, bro? You volunteered. This is volunteering services. I ain't paying you jack.
What did I sign and send to you by my friend? Yeah, that's...
So...
Anyways, moving on. So it's been an exciting year. Big developments, pretty interesting. Nobody thought the MVP race was going to come down to a triple-double versus another triple-doubler / scorer person.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect that at all. The MVP race has been awesome. But let's not start with the MVP race. Let's keep that for our listeners till the end. Let's start with Rookie of the Year. Who do you think wins Rookie of the Year?
So, I don't know, like, a lot of people are going to get heat. I think this is going to make a record somehow. No rookie was out of this world compared to Joel Embiid. I'll be honest with you. I'm voting for Joel Embiid. I understand 31 games out of an 82-game schedule. But this man was balling out of his mind when he was on the court. He was not only was he at a ridiculously 50% above the clip rate from the field, he was shooting 40% from the threes. And when he was on the court, they had a 99.1 defensive rating. With Embiid on the floor, they were 13 and 18. Without him, they turned into 15 and 35. So this guy, a lot of it, he's a rookie that turned the team around. Not a veteran player, not a savvy player like LeBron or Chris Paul or any of these teams. He's a rookie that turned the team around.
Out. There's something alarming to what you said. So when he's on the floor, what's their record?
13 and 18.
Okay, and when he's off the floor, what's his record?
15 and 35.
What difference? I don't understand what difference you're trying to tell me out of here.
They're closer to a 500.
They're closer to a losing record. It's still a losing record.
But they're a lot closer to the 500 team. But their player metrics and everything. I wish I was a better analyst in terms of looking at these stats. I really do.
Me too. I wish you were a better analyst, because then it'd be a real discussion for us.
No, but like, can you honestly tell me, watching any of the rookies this year, did anybody have a more profound impact on their team than Joel Embiid? The second Joel Embiid stepped on the court, he was the face of the franchise. The ball was going to go through him.
Okay, so this is my take on Joel Embiid. He played 31 games out of 82, even less than half the season. You can't even argue that he played half the season. And so for that reason, I would take him out, period. He's just not in my...
No, but hey, Patrick Ewing won. Patrick Ewing won. He only played 50 games. That's only 19 games more than him.
I don't care. 50 games is way more than 31. That's just ridiculous to give him an award. I think this was a year. I think this was a year where rookies were less impactful, like in an overall sense, but you had to really look at, like, from a stats standpoint. But if you look at, like, certain rookies and winning wise, I mean, I'm familiar with this guy because of last night and just in general now. Malcolm Brogdon in my opinion, the
he's
rookie,
a baller. He's a baller.
He's gonna be fantastic. That Milwaukee team to me is so scary because of not only Giannis, not only Thon Maker, not only Chris Middleton, who have become now like either are rookies or improving themselves or have been in the league for a little while now and improved themselves.
Yeah.
But like this rookie, Malcolm Brogdon, has come onto the scene. He's not as flashy from the standpoint of
his understanding of
Yeah.
the court is ridiculous.
Exactly.
Man.
His IQ is great. He makes very few mistakes on the court. He
Yeah.
plays really well when it comes to defense. So like you saw yesterday, Kyle Lowry really struggled against him because he's a bigger, lengthier sort of point guard.
Yeah.
He's averaged 10.2 points per game, 4.2 assists per game, 2.8 rebounds per game, and not only that, he's shooting 40% from the 3-point range.
Yeah, dude, he killed you, and he killed you guys last night too. 4 for 7 for 3.
Totally,
57% from 3. Man, that's awesome. This guy was torching you guys.
And so he's a consistent playmaker in my opinion. He's helped his team make the playoffs for the first time in I don't know how many years. And so you know he, in my opinion, and I was reading a lot about him, okay? So when I was doing my research. And so, like, he has this work ethic where they were telling him about his 6 a.m. Sunday workouts. Like, everyone was talking about it on his team. They were, like, upping him for Rookie of the Year. So, like, yeah, Malcolm Brogdon comes in 6 a.m. on Sundays, does a skills and conditioning workout
What's
by
your
himself
excuse,
and
Obi? Why are we showing up at 8 o'clock in the morning, bro?
Yeah, straight up. This is being recorded at 8 o'clock. We had that work ethic here at Instant Replay all day, every day. Okay, But you know, for me, it just makes sense. The Milwaukee Bucks are 4.4 points better with him on the court for every 100 possessions. So that says to me that he has an impact and he's only a rookie. He's only gonna get better, and this team is gonna get better.
I get yes, yeah, he's impactful. So he was actually my
okay.
runner.
So you just said yes. You just said yes. So
yes.
you mean you acknowledge I'm right? Okay, great.
Okay.
Next topic.
Okay. Rookie of the Year should have been Joel Embiid. Bigger, impactful stats when he's on the court than Malcolm Brogdon.
False.
But Brogdon played more games. Done.
Let's do another one.
Okay,
Let's do another one. Maybe you and I will agree on this one. Sixth man of the year.
Okay. Okay, you go first this time.
Okay, my sixth man of the year is... So I had it between Eric Gordon and I had it between Iguodala.
Okay.
The reason why I chose Iguodala was because...
I did too, actually. I actually chose him
Okay,
as well.
Great. Fantastic. So this one will be quick because we're not arguing.
Yes. Hopefully.
Iguodala to me is hands down, you know, like he's one of those guys that I would consider like a Swiss Army knife.
Yes, he
he's
definitely
just this
is.
guy that's basically so versatile. I mean, to me, he's Golden State's, you know, like identity almost. He represents their identity. And so when he's on the court, he's smaller, he brings a lot of energy, he's far more versatile from a defensive standpoint than a lot of players on the team. Like, he'll always guard the number one guy. You know, it's just always the case with Andre Iguodala. And so, you know, for me, he obviously did well throughout the season. I mean, nothing to brag about, but when KD went down, I mean, he stepped into the role over the last 6 weeks.
And I think that's that's probably what solidified his role and getting the sixth man of the year. When KD went down, this guy stepped up like crazy. And like you said, his per game stats, if you look at it, everybody's going to be like, compared to Eric Gordon and even Lou Williams on the Rockets, his per game stats aren't that crazy and lofty. He only averaged, 7.6 points per game, 4 rebounds per game. So, I mean, it's not even anywhere close to a double-double or even anything in double digits. But he leads the NBA in reserves and plus-minus and is ranked number one in win share. So this guy was extremely important in guaranteeing wins for Golden State.
Totally. And so, yeah, that's what I mean by Golden State's identity, right? Like, he's having such a big impact. So, that's the only reason I thought it's pretty obvious of sixth man of the year.
Okay, so let's go do this now. Before we start getting into the bigger awards, who's your coach of the year?
Coach of the year. So, I had 2 candidates, and I still haven't. That's the only reason I'm thinking about it is because or 3 candidates actually.
Ooh, 3.
The only reason I'm thinking about it, and I don't really like one of them, but I think he has to get an honorable mention. So the one I don't like is Houston Rockets coach.
What?
Mike D'Antoni.
No, he is the coach of the year. He's not no liking. He is the coach of the year, unfortunately.
I don't like him, Atef. I don't like him. Okay? So obviously you got to give him props. He's turned around that franchise. They're doing substantially better. He basically found the right, switch, whatever you want to call it, for James Harden, and so I give him an honorable mention.
He's a genius for doing it. That in itself should earn him not from everybody's expectation of Rockets this year, borderline playoff team. Totally. This guy makes the most important change not only for the team but for a player's career. The player now in the MVP conversation because of what? His coach, his NBA team is now third in the West. Why? Because he decided to play a certain way by the coach. So the coach deserves all this credit. Okay, go on.
Let me ask you this, Atef.
Go for it.
Have you just gotten used to, Greg Pop's going to get 60-win seasons all the time? Like, have you just gotten used to the thought that that's always the case, and so he doesn't need to, like, you know how LeBron is the same way? Like, you treat LeBron like, 50-plus wins, that's no problem. You know what I mean? The expectation for these guys because of their level of excellence is so high that you don't even, it's like a norm to you now. I'm just curious to know what your thought is on Greg Pop, who again gets the second best record in the West, has only one All-Star on his team in Kawhi Leonard, is able to do whatever players come in, Jonathan Simmons, guys that we haven't even heard about, puts them into rotation and they become impact players. Just curious to know what your take is on Greg Pop.
Okay, so one thing I will tell you about this though, yes, Greg Popovich is a legendary coach. He's not one of the best coaches. He's a legendary. He's cemented himself in top 5 coaches of NBA history, I could imagine.
I wouldn't disagree with you. Go on.
So think about it this way though. But all those players have been playing with Pop for a long, long time. That system has been the same system from the get-go. D'Antoni has had to make a new system for this team this year. D'Antoni is a first-year coach with a new team this year. D'Antoni took this team that was a 7 or 8 seed last year, put them into the 3rd seed. They're flowing as the number 2 rated offense behind the Golden State Warriors in 1 year. This all happened this year, so that's why I'm giving him coach a chip above Mr. Greg Popovich, not just because of not to discount what Greg Popovich has done, because what he's done is legendary. It's the fact that D'Antoni stepped into this position with nothing, generated a game plan, took his team to the top, and now is one of the most feared teams in the NBA this season.
Okay, so you brought up offensive rating in the top 10. Okay, great. Can I tell you the Spurs are top 10 offensively and top 10 defensively. The only other team in the league that does that is the Golden State Warriors. Okay? So that just to give you an idea of both sides of the court matter. This guy, Greg Pop, is both sides. He's not
we all know that D'Antoni is an offensive coordinator at best, so there is no defense in his game.
I totally agree with you, and so I don't know if I can give so much credit to his system. I mean, his system was the same as it has been in Phoenix. It didn't work in New York. It didn't work in
he likes
LA,
to run and
shoot now
threes. He likes to run and shoot threes.
He needs a player that can do the same thing Steve Nash can do from a passing standpoint. James Harden can do that. He's a playmaker.
Exactly.
But my coach of the year isn't even Pop. I'm just arguing with you. My coach of the year is Brad Stevens, of the Boston Celtics.
Really?
Who I didn't expect them to be the number 1 seed at all, ever.
I knew that. You know what? Maybe I'm a little biased just because I had known a lot about Brad Stevens since he's been in the league. He's already been turning the Celtics around for a long time. Actually, you're right. You know what? He could be he's a candidate. He's up there.
Yeah, so, but to get we expected Boston Celtics to make the playoffs like they did in years past with Brad Stevens, but did you expect them to be the number 1 seed ahead of Cleveland? Probably not.
Yes, and that's probably going to be that icing, that cake, if he does win the award, that is why. He took his team above LeBron James.
Totally. And then you look at a player what's he have to work with? Okay. This is me saying their players' names, okay? Boston Celtics. Okay, so he has Isaiah Thomas, 29 points a game, almost 30 pretty much. And considered at one point to be an MVP during the season. That's really all you can name in terms of honorable mentions. Maybe Al Horford, maybe Avery Bradley, but Avery Bradley's been injured most of the season.
Dude, he's got a very
Jay
balanced
Crowder,
team. Very balanced.
Jay Crowder to me is like an Andre Iguodala, utility belt.
He's the glue.
You know what I mean?
Glue that puts the team together. Yeah, I'll give it that.
Yeah.
But but none of these guys are like average NBA
tell me
players.
which one. Which one's that superstar? Tell me that one superstar, like James Harden. Tell me the one James Harden on the Isaiah Thomas is not James Harden. Just so we're both clear.
What? He's the most clutch player in the entire league.
Oh, stop it. Now you're just
Isaiah Thomas is the most clutch player. I forgot the stat.
Dear
The guy makes the most meaningful points at the end of the game. He leads the league in fourth quarter points.
I wonder if you looked at that and if he took the most shots as well. I wonder what the stat would be. I know we obviously are
regardless or not, man, the guy's leading the team to a number 1 seed, averaging the 3rd most points in the league with the most fourth quarter points in the league. That has to be a superstar right there.
I don't think he's James Harden level, just to be clear.
Okay, I mean, of course not. Yeah, James Harden's been doing it for a few years at this point, but at the same time, I don't want to discount IT and say he's not a superstar. That guy's a superstar.
Okay, so let's watch the playoffs. Jimmy Butler is going to be guarding Isaiah Thomas. He's come out saying already that he's going to guard
him the whole game.
You know, he said that. Yeah. And let's watch the playoffs. I guarantee you, when there's actually playoffs on the line and there's bigger guys guarding him, those stats will come down.
And yeah, we'll see. And I just want to put this little bleep in there. Shout out to Coach Spoelstra. Should be in the Coach of the Year. Should be in the Coach of the Year conversation. He led a team that's led by
James Johnson.
No, you cue in the cricket sound right now because that is what his team is led by.
Yeah, I'll put that in right after.
Yeah,
but it's that was very impressive what he's done. So shout out to Eric Spoelstra for sure.
Because who would have thought that losing Dion Waiters was their savior? What team could have ever said Dion Waiters was going to be their savior? This guy made Dion Waiters a savior. I gotta be a coach of the year level. But let's move on. What do you want to do for the next award?
The next award we've done. Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes, this one's a good one. This one's a hard one, actually.
Okay, I'm curious to know what your take is because mine is a little different. Mine is different from the mainstream ones. Like the mainstream ones, I say Draymond and Kawhi.
Yeah. Okay. That's up there. Okay. So let's just check this out. So my defensive player of the year is Draymond Green. He's the best all-around defender. He's the most single-handedly transcended how valuable versatility can actually be. Like literally, you can put him anywhere on the floor. Tell him to guard anything. I'm not saying anyone. He can guard a T-Rex. If you tell him to guard a T-Rex, somehow he will guard a T-Rex. You tell him to guard King Kong and Kawhi Leonard at the same time. Sometimes he will do it. But it's one of those things. This guy averaged he among all players who averaged 20 minutes and have appeared in 60 more games, nobody has a lower defensive rating than Green's 99.3.
I don't disagree with you.
And then think about it this way as well. There's still, like you said earlier in the show, there's still a top 10, if not top 5 ranked defense in the league.
Yep.
When they lost Andrew Bogut and Harrison Barnes and Kevin Durant for about 20 games this year. All three of those were good defensive players, but somehow they stayed on top of defense, not because of Steph Curry or Klay Thompson. Sorry. Klay Thompson's actually very good, so I'll give you that. Now, maybe Klay Thompson. But Draymond is the glue that keeps the team together on the defensive end. If Draymond's gone, that entire team breaks down defensively.
Fair enough. Okay, so I don't disagree with that. I think, people always say Draymond or Kawhi, and I agree both points. From a versatility standpoint, both guys do amazing.
Yeah.
Defensive prowess in terms of guarding different positions. I mean, like Kawhi could guard a point guard, Draymond could guard a point guard at a certain point in time at the top of the key. Yeah. All these guys can do that, but for me, what I want to pick is a guy that's amazing in his role and has made a huge impact to the team immediately. And that, to me, is the Stifle Tower, Rudy Gobert, who, unfortunately, as we both know, has gone down last night with a left knee sprain. Oh, so sad. 13 seconds in.
Yeah, dude,
but to me, really hands down, he was snubbed out of the All-Star game, and now we're kind of snubbing him out of the defensive player of the year, and that's because Utah isn't the most flashy or no one talks about Utah realistically, even though they've had a tremendous season. They've done amazing.
They're talking about Utah now after last night.
Totally. Did you see a game winner by Joe Johnson? That's what he does, man.
The vet. That's where veteran savvyship comes in handy, man.
Totally. Check this out in terms of Rudy Gobert, okay, at the Stifle Tower.
Yeah.
Okay? He got 1,000 points this year, 1,000 rebounds, 200 plus blocks. There's only 12 other members in that group. But apart from that, he was basically 1 steal and 3 assists away from joining an even more exclusive club, which he would be the 10th member of. And that club includes Kareem, Shaq, Hakeem, David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Dwight Howard, Alvin Hayes, Bob McAdoo.
Wow, legends.
Okay, that is like legendary status to reach that level. And he was only 1 steal and 3 assists away. And so, when his opponents are trying to come near the paint, they average about 43% from the field. So in the paint to get 43%, that's saying something, that he's making a big difference. Utah's ranked 3rd best defense, and their basically opponents are 8 points fewer in terms of like their scoring. They're 8 points fewer when Rudy Gobert is on the floor. So to me, it's clearly from a defensive, and I haven't even looked offensively. He's super efficient offensively.
Yeah,
he's
he
a big guy,
is.
Lives in the paint.
But he exactly, yes. He gets the trash rebounds and then puts it back.
Totally. He's like one of those guys. If like even LeBron is driving, he'll think about Rudy Gobert standing there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that to me is a huge difference maker. Just even the mental.
100%. That's why this entire yes, they came out with the win yesterday. Utah did, but he anchors that entire defense in Utah. He ranks 1st in defensive real plus minus, and Draymond Green is actually 2nd in real plus minus on defensive plays. But the fact that Gobert went out last night, this is what's going to put Utah truly to the test, because you just lost your your best defender and the best, like you said. It's not even just the fact that he plays amazing defense. He does.
Bro,
it's the psychological aspect of the game completely deteriorates when one of the best defensive players in the league is not there anymore.
Last night when he fell and he couldn't even walk, he was crawling off the court. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I did.
That
He was crawling.
bad.
He was wincing in pain. So
yeah, I don't expect. So the good thing is the MRIs all came negative, and it's a hyperextended knee. But unfortunately, I think that means that he's gonna miss the whole series at least.
Let's remember, it didn't look as bad as KD's, but KD's hyperextended knee, 20 games he was gone. So I'm pretty sure.
Who do you have in that series?
Dang, man, with Gobert, I actually had Utah for that series with Gobert, but now that it's gone. Yesterday, if you guys saw, of course it was a good game. It was a really good game, and the Clippers were just playing pretty bad yesterday. But they had nobody. They had Joe Johnson guarding Blake Griffin for an extended period of time.
He did well, though.
He did. He did serviceable, but at the end of the day, 7-game series, you're gonna have a small forward shooting guard a power forward that's physical as Blake Griffin. I don't think it's going to happen. I'll be honest, I don't think they have anything to match up with the bigs of Clips. So I think Clips are going to end up taking it in 6.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the Rudy Gobert going down, I think the Clips are... I picked the Clips beforehand, too. But I think the... And that's strictly because I thought Utah was inexperienced. That's the only reason. And so, from my standpoint, I guess Clippers are...
All right, so actually, time out. We digress. I wanted to get to this award very quickly because he holds a special place in my heart.
Okay.
Who's your most improved player of the year?
It's the guy who just beat us last night, unfortunately, Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Greek Freak. I'm not happy about talking about this at all. I don't want to even I don't want to.
Does it sting when you? Does it sting when you say his name? Does your mouth burn on fire?
It does. I even have I have a tongue sore too, so it's literally burning. Like literally, it is actually burning as I say his name, Giannis.
Dude, this guy leads everything, every statistical category, and makes your mouth on fire by saying Zobi. That guy has to be an improved player because he wasn't doing that last year. He wasn't doing that last year.
Yeah, whatever.
But that's all you do. That's all you need for this guy. Give him the most improved player of the year award. All I gotta say, he leads the team in every single statistical category, man.
Buddy,
That's insane.
Think about this. Think about this. Okay, he's getting most improved this year, but down the road he might be MVP of the league.
I'll be honest with you. I'm sorry. Like I think this is completely me and you agree. You agree on him being the MIP, correct?
For sure, MIP.
Yeah. So, my biggest, actually, do you bring up the MVP future conversation? I'm sorry. Yes, I understand Westbrook and Harden had an amazing year. Yes, one guy's averaging a triple-double, the other guy dropping triple-doubles. Giannis was also dropping triple-doubles, but he led his team in every single statistical category. Why the hell was his name never up in MVP conversations?
I don't know. I think so. I think the reason for that was initially they started in the playoff run and then they got kicked out of the playoff run halfway through the season. They were like 9th seed, and then they made a run towards the end, the second half after the All-Star game. So it's kind of been like an up and down season for Milwaukee, and they finally made it. That's the reason why I think he hasn't been.
Man.
Also,
they were a very good team the entire year. Yes, you're right. I remember that little short stint where they were dropped out of playoff race for a bit, but they jumped all the way back in there, and they beat who they beat last night? Who they beat last night?
Yeah, I knew. So as I was watching the game last night with my brother-in-laws, who are diehard Raptors fans, I was watching the game with them. I was like, literally, the game's ending in the fourth quarter, and they're down by like 14. The Raptors are, and I'm like, oh no, I have to go through this tomorrow morning. I know for a fact I'm gonna hate him.
I'm sorry,
and
bro.
it's true. I hate you on them.
It is. It's a great headline. We are instant replay, so we have to constantly replay everything, man. I'm sorry. It's all a part of the job, Zobi. If you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. Is it the kitchen or the oven? Yeah, it is the kitchen.
It's the kitchen, yeah. Yeah, so Giannis, hands down, we both agree, is the MIP. He is a beast. He is, he should be considered MVP, like I said, like you said to me. But I think it's because he's a small market team and no one really cares about Milwaukee. But they will care once they start winning, and that's not too far away in terms of, actually, they're already winning, but that's not too far. Like, the 50-game seasons are not too far away from the Milwaukee Bucks.
Not whatsoever. So now,
MVP.
All right, so this was not the race everybody was expecting it to be this year. I think everybody was expecting Mr. LeBron James and Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard to be at the beginning of the year, and KD. Yeah. But it actually ended up being a player that got moved in a position that he's been playing in the league for like 5, 6, 7 years, and ended up being a person that got shafted by his best friend and led this team to the friggin' playoffs. And averaged something called a triple-double on the way.
Not since the 62 season.
Oscar Robertson the Great. So let's talk about this. Everybody, of course, near the end of the season, everybody was talking about it. 4 players for MVP: Kawhi, LeBron, Harden, and Westbrook. But then near the last week and a half, it kind of cut the first 2 I said. Ended up just being a Harden versus Westbrook battle. This one was a hard one for me, so who are you going to pick?
No, who are you going to pick?
Oh, fine. So I would pick Westbrook, not.
Okay.
I'm going with Harden on this one. Yes, don't get me wrong. Westbrook had one of the most memorable seasons in a long time. Obviously, just like you said, in the 60s, where Oscar Robertson was the first player to ever average a triple-double. But he leads the league in scoring, assist rate, usage percentage. The highest, let me point that out though. His usage percentage is the highest in the league history. Okay?
Right.
The highest. Usage rate is the highest. I don't know if that, and when I saw that stat, that spoke wonders to me. I'm like, yes, individual statistics are amazing. Yes, technically, if you want to put it that way, he did win some games and with game winners, and then obviously with the addition of Westbrook on the floor, that will win him games, win the OKC games. But was he actually making his team better?
No, so so they are 32-9 when he has a triple-double, so the argument can definitely be made. But for me, again, I go with Harden. I think you're going with Harden.
Yeah, I'm going Harden.
So the reason I'm going for Harden is strictly because Russell Westbrook was projected to win, and this is literally it. I mean, they're both very, like, everyone just, like, I get it. He has a triple-double, and the other guy is basically two 2 rebounds away from being a triple-double as well. So, I mean, who cares from my standpoint? But, in terms of where they were projected to be, Russell was projected to be 43 and 39, okay? He's actually still in the 40s, but high 40s in terms of his record. So, he's plus minus like 5 games, okay? Okay. Now we look at plus 5 games. So now we look at Harden, and I'm quoting these projected picks by Bleacher Report. I don't know whatever their source was, but we look at Harden, and he was projected to be, once Dwight Howard had left, 38 and 44.
And
where are they now?
Third in the West.
Where are they now?
Third in the West.
They're in 55 wins. That's 17 games more. And to me, I credit winning. Whether or not they go deep in the playoffs, that's irrelevant. I think this is the tightest race that we've seen yet, but I think Harden deserves it because the win ratio is crazy with what Mike D'Antoni has been able to do with Harden, and Harden's numbers speak for themselves. So, I mean, there's not that much difference, in my opinion, between their numbers, but there's a huge difference between winning and losing. The people that argue that OKC's team is far worse than James Harden's team, I totally disagree with that.
I'm gonna disagree.
I think they're very even teams.
Yeah, if you're right, if anything, they're the only thing Houston Rockets team, which obviously they found the identity, which is another thing you have to credit D'Antoni for. They got 3-point shooters on that team, so why not use it? So they're a better 3-point shooting team, but I wouldn't say they're significantly better team than if you take Westbrook off and you take Harden off and you put those teams together, it's not going to be one blowout versus another complete demise. So I honestly, it's a strange way to defend who the MVP is, because we know everything that Westbrook has done, but it's all the things he's done to his team that he's actually not made them better is what's going to keep him from getting the MVP, I think. Right. And I think James Harden is going to win it. And at the end of the day, James Harden is 3-1 against Westbrook matchups.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a great point that you bring up, and so let's see what happens. I think tonight is the series starts. The best series of the first round between the MVPs is tonight.
Oh, that's a 9 o'clock game. That's a 9 o'clock game, right?
Yeah, that's a 9 o'clock game.
Cannot
wait. I'm so amped. This is gonna be literally. I think they're gonna go 1-on-1 basically the whole night.
I don't know, but see that But the MVP voting does not take into credit the postseason, right? Because at this point, the resumes have stopped, right?
Yeah. It doesn't. But I think the ballots have gone in as of Friday.
You think Harden? You think Harden is gonna just go off and be like, you know what? I'm playing Westbrook, my old homie. I'm just gonna shoot 40 shots today and see how many points I can get my team. Or you think?
I think both of them. I think both of them are number one priority is gonna be to outshine the other guy. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's what it's gonna. That's literally the MVP race is coming down to whose stats mean more to the team. But now, does it mean Westbrook is gonna hog the sunlight even more and make his team even worse, is Harden gonna revert to his ways of just shooting all the crazy shots he did and not pass out the assists like he has this year? But who knows?
Hey,
who knows?
Atef.
Yeah.
Hey, Atef. I think this series is gonna be the headliner of the first round.
Yes, 100%. Oh, wait, I mean, unless Cavs continue to struggle like the way they did yesterday.
Hey, dude, you didn't pick up on the headline transition. That was my amazing segue. Did you not?
Oh, man, you gotta make that more seamless.
See what I did there?
Bro.
See what I did there?
We'll pull you to the side. I'll coach you. Don't worry. I'll coach you.
I gave you a lob, and you just botched up the dunk. Just botched it up.
You know what? I'm sorry, you're not Chris Paul in my books, bro. I'm sorry. We'll have to take that out.
And you're clearly not DeAndre.
No, clearly not. I'm actually better than DeAndre. I am the Hakeem the Dream. I am the Dream analyst.
What?
Just putting that out there.
Dear God. Okay,
so headlines.
Speaking of headlines, yeah, go Atef.
We got a little short segment just to close off the show. We're calling it Keep Rollin'. Keep rolling. Yeah. So what we're gonna be doing is we're just gonna be shouting out some headlines, and we're gonna pause when we want and talk about it, and keep going if we don't like it. Hope you guys. Let's do this.
All right, let's alternate. Since this is the first time we're doing this, let's alternate. Atef, you go first. I'll go first. It'll be kind of like a speed round. We'll say our thoughts, or we won't say our thoughts. Like keep it rolling.
All right.
We'll keep going from there.
Sweet deals. And first headline: Curry is an amazing NBA player, but he has the worst fashion in the NBA. Has anybody seen his shoes? Because they are the most terrible taste. Because I kid you not, my grandmother lives in Pakistan, has a leather couch. His new shoes that he designed look like my grandmother's leather couch.
Keep it rolling, fam. That Steph Curry's a great player. Stop hating. Oh, my turn.
Go,
Next
go.
headline. Khloe Kardashian has said she would say yes to Tristan Thompson if he proposed.
Next, because I don't know who. Oh, Khloe Kardashian, is she? Oh, yeah.
You don't know who Khloe Kardashian is?
Yeah,
What?
Next. Rolling. Keep rolling.
What?
Yeah. Lynch has officially signed on back into the NFL, and he is now makes the Raiders a contender.
The Raiders were a contender without Marshawn Lynch, and they're only just going to get better. They were a contender last year. They just had a freak accident with Derek
That's
Carr.
unfortunately true. Yes, you're right. So watch out for the Raiders in 2017, 2018.
Totally. While we're on football, Tony Romo is officially retired from the NFL, I guess.
Pause on that one. Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Do you think he sold himself short and just kind of chickened out of the NFL because of his injury, or did you think he's like, you know what? Because it's not like to say he wasn't gonna get. He had the choice to sign wherever, like literally wherever he wanted to. He could have gone to Denver Broncos and instantly made them again a Super Bowl caliber team. Do you think he just chickened out, took more money to be a broadcaster, or do you think he actually was like he didn't want to play for another team?
No, I think he's lost the love for the game, maybe because of all his injuries. He's constantly been injured for the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, true.
It's not like, and on top of that, Dallas Cowboys have kind of like figured out their future now. So I mean, for him, maybe he wants to retire as a Dallas Cowboy. So that's my standpoint.
Touche. Oh, well. You know what? Yeah, you're right. Next off, this is my other headline. I don't know if you guys have been reading, but Mr. New York Knicks president of basketball operations
buddy.
Shooting some bullets out there about Carmelo Anthony, saying the team was better off without him. But by doing so, I'm not sure he realized the next domino he was going to hit over was going to be Porzingis. He skips the exit meeting with the team and actually sticks up for Melo by liking his Instagram post. So I think we got a little controversy brewing up in New York still.
Not surprising. It's the New York Knicks. There's always some sort of problem, some sort of issue going on with the New York Knicks. They're drama queens of the NBA, hands down.
Unfortunately.
Phil Jackson is turning out to be probably one of the worst executives we've seen in the 2000 era.
Easily. He's a great coach, but don't put him up in your offices, folks.
Is he, though? Let's think about this. Is he a great coach? I know he has 11 rings, but he's also had the luxury of having Shaq, Jordan, and Kobe.
Next story.
Okay.
Sergio Garcia wins his first majors of his entire career. Sergio Garcia.
Okay, I'll let you talk about this because I have no clue. I mean, I saw the headline, but I don't watch enough golf.
No, but the biggest thing is the reason this is a headline for me. He won his first green jacket because everybody knows when you win the Masters, you get a green jacket. But I did not know you get to keep the jacket for 1 year. And when you're done with 1 year, you have to give Augusta, the golf course in Augusta, the jacket back, and you can only wear the jacket on the golf grounds. But who wears a jacket when you play golf? Exactly.
That's so whack. That's so stupid.
Exactly.
What?
I didn't understand that. I was like, wait, so you play for this jacket, and then you get literally the trophy for the Masters is 4 inches or something like that, 3 or 4 inches. And then you get a green jacket that you're not even allowed to wear for the rest of your life. You can only wear it in a specific place whenever you're there not playing golf, which is what
that's whack, dude.
So I thought that was pretty stupid.
I don't like that. I think that's pretty stupid. Okay, my
Next.
headline. My headline, the last one that I have is my favorite. This is let's take a pause minute right now and just take this in. Olivia Munn is single again. And Aaron Rodgers has broken up with Olivia Munn after 3 years. And, if Maha's listening, I love you, Mahajan. But Olivia Munn, man, she's back on the market. Thoughts, Atef?
Yeah, whatevs.
What?
She can't act. She's just a pretty face. Sorry, bro. I mean,
She's
I
a
need
great actress.
Name me one movie. She was Psylocke. I think she had one line as a Psylocke.
She can't act like a superhero, but she can act.
In what?
And Newsroom. Have you seen the HBO show Newsroom? It's really good. You should watch it.
Yeah, I've not watched it. Clearly, I think somebody has an infatuation is extremely biased right now. But you know what, Zobi? I will buy you the ticket to wherever she is, and I'll see. I want to watch the show of Zobi trying to gain Olivia Munn's heart. Just gonna put that out there. But
Okay.
I got two quick headlines because these were super interesting. One, a 14,000-year-old village was found in Canada, which changes the original research and about how North Americans first came to be in the United States and North America.
Wow, I didn't know
So
that.
Canada,
That's pretty cool headline.
yeah, Canada making headlines for something other than losing in the playoffs all the time.
Oh,
Next.
burn.
Next
Oh.
and final one. This is where we close off.
no.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. That was pretty good. I'm gonna give myself a point for that one on our scoreboard. Okay, etched in one for me. This is a salute to all mothers out there, all women that are going to be mothers, and all women that are mothers now, and all those people that want to be mothers. I'm putting this out there because at the end of the day, a mother's love is amazing. The strength of a mother is crazy. An Australian mother, and I'm putting this out there again. An Australian mother just gave birth to a child that was 13.5 pounds.
Woo, buddy.
But I want you to take this next part in. An Australian mother gave birth to a baby that's 13.5 pounds, and she did not have any epidural or anesthesia. She did this completely naturally.
Jeez. Okay, that woman is Mother of the Year, strongest woman we've ever met. Like, you know all those strong man awards, strong women awards? Yeah. That she gets that. She gets to keep
like
that for life.
me and my wife always are talking about how women, or my wife is always talking about, Yusra is always talking about how strong women are and everything. And I'm like, yeah, I see it. But then when this story came up, I'm like, I bow my head to women's strength out there because I'm pretty sure I would never be able to give birth to a pea. So just putting that out there.
Shout out to that lady in Australia. Good on you, mate.
Yeah. So, exciting episode, guys.
Let us know what you thought. We've covered everything in the NBA, all the awards. We'll keep it going with the playoffs. We're super excited about the playoffs. They're finally here.
All right.
Let's keep it rolling.
Boom.